Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. I'm going downtown to see a man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. I'm going downtown to see a man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Going downtown to see a man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. I'm going downtown to see a man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand.
I'm a senior right now, and I am currently the Sisters President.
My name is Usman Manzoor. I am the Brothers President from the year 2018-2019.
My name is Amna Ali. I am a senior, and my position was Treasurer of the Shura.
My name is Madiha. I'm a junior right now, and I'm the Secretary.
My name is Sufyan Kalota. I am a sophomore at UIC, and my position on MSA is the Brothers Education Chair.
My name is Sidra Khan. I am a sophomore at UIC, and and my position is Sisters Education Chair.
My name is Hanan Chaudhry. I am currently a sophomore here at UIC. I am one of the co-tech chairs here at MSA.
My name is Taj Atasi. I am a junior, and I am the co-tech chair of the MSA.
My name is Fidat Taha. I am a sophomore, and I am the social media advertising chair.
Administratively, I act as the president, so I do a lot of communications with the administrators at UIC, CSI. I do a lot with like Sisters Development, like communicating and starting programming, like with Muslim Women's Alliance, or like just working with different organizations on campus and really trying to help build a community here at UIC.
A lot of the responsibilities were just overseeing the board and delegating responsibilities for the most part.
So as treasurer, as it applies, I took care of the money, I handled the funds, and making sure we have enough money for our future events, for current events, basically depositing the money. And another huge part of being treasurer is room reservations. So going through all the forms that we have for different, it's really complicated, but there's like different forms for different reservations. So I took care of like the paperwork and the money.
So as secretary, behind the scenes at Shura meetings, I take notes and then I hand out notes after each meeting. And then every week I send out the weekly email. So if you've seen any of those weekly emails, they are from me.
I'm in charge of more of the brothers' activities, so brothers' outings and whatnot, scholarly activities. Like we started an Islam 101 class this semester that we, inshallah, are hoping to move to next semester. And I am also in charge of Jummah, finding Jummah khatibs, making sure Jummah runs smoothly. I can't do that alone as well, but Hanan helps me as well.
My responsibilities ranged from, organizing the weekly halqas for the sisters to leading the Surah Kahf circles this semester on Fridays, as well as getting speakers and other people to campus for different sisters events. At the dinners in particular, I worked on decorations.
My responsibilities is to help coordinate and execute the visual aspect of our flyers and our videos. Aside from this, I do help out with Friday prayers at UIC. I'm also in charge of MSA representatives, and what that is that we have a group of college students who take initiative and lead on service projects, volunteer aspects, and any opportunity that is being presented, as well as the MSA booths, and I just help supervise and coordinate that.
So my responsibilities included making sure that the social media was up to date and interactive. Alhamdulillah, over the course of me serving as a social media chair, we got a lot of followers on the Instagram and on the other social medias. I was able to, increase engagement, feature different Muslims on the page, and just overall doing a lot of interactive things.
Responsibilities kind of included multiple things. It started off with creating flyers for different events, that eventually transitioned to Hanan, but it eventually evolved into recording videos, taking pictures of all the events. I was kind of the one that was walking around with the electronic tripod, the stabilizer, so that was me. But in terms of events, my biggest responsibility was finding the photographers and recording and being sure that everything ran smoothly.
The role I played was to make sure that these events happen. So there was a lot of administrative talk, there was a lot of administrative discussion, there was a lot of people we needed to contact, agents to talk to, and there was a lot of agents to talk to, and there was a lot of people to talk to. And so the job that me, Salma, and the two other DIW chairs, Osama and Sarah, our job was to make sure we facilitated and we talked to who we needed to talk to and get confirmations to make DIW happen.
So for events, room reservation, the other, I did for one and the other one Salma took care of. But after that, my responsibilities was with the food. So Sufyan and I took care of food. So part of catering, meaning ordering the food, checking the menu, and then handling food throughout the dinner.
During events, I handle most of the registration and hospitality. So people bringing in speakers, walking them in. That's all part of my committee if you were part of it, as well as registration. So having people sign up to events and getting all your information and then adding people to emails and stuff like that. That's mainly what I do.
So I had to do a lot with timelines and filling out forms, a lot of the back end work. So maybe it's reserving a room, maybe it's talking to someone that can come and speak. So I had to make sure that we had everything lined up so that speakers could come in, so that if we had someone coming in to design the room or set up, we had all the resources available up front so that everybody could do their work to help showcase a beautiful event.
As far as our events came, for the fall dinner, I was one of the hosts, MCs, alongside with one of my coworkers, Fidat, and alongside the dinner, helped supervise and coordinate the volunteers and make sure everything just runs smoothly.
So for the events that we had this year, I was in charge of food and catering and making sure that everything was set up and runs smoothly on that end. to help me with that, Amna helped. Basically, we contacted the restaurants that we wanted to cater from, making sure that they got there on time, that the setup was correct, the food was warm, people were getting their food on time, etc.
In terms of events with social media, we just had to keep making sure that the social media was updated, that we were constantly, advertising those events. During DIW, something that we did was we had different people from the Shura feature on the page, and we had trivia. And yeah, so overall, the role that media plays and engagement plays in the Shura is actually a pretty big role. It's where everybody, initially sees what's happening and, can stay updated.
I think I take a lot on for myself, and I have a problem with delegating tasks, and so that's something that I would want to improve on for later. I'm graduating, but I think that that's something they can improve on, of course, for next year, as well as just making sure that our communication platforms vary. So we use a lot of Instagram and Facebook. Maybe we can find other ways to reach out to other people. There's a lot of Muslims on this campus. UIC is 15% Muslim, and I think that that's something that we really need to tap into more and just continue to grow the organization.
I think the biggest thing that MSA at UIC could improve upon is taking our campus presence. We have a huge population. We have a huge following at UIC, and I think that we can translate that to something bigger, something not just MSA related, but like Muslim related. Like it can go further than just a student org.
So my biggest constraint was definitely time. During the events, I only had about 30 minutes to set up. During the 30 minutes to set up, I had to set up lights, I had to set up cameras, I had to give instructions to the other photographers, and it was not a lot of time. To improve upon that, I wish I had a little bit more time, even 15 or 20 more minutes. That would have been a big difference.
First event that we had like the fall dinner, and I remember like I've never like been a part of like a committee, and I had to lead one all of a sudden, and so it was really interesting because in my head I like checked all the points, but then when you actually go into that environment and you like see the event happening and you like learn like, okay, like so for our first event, for the fall event, like when we had registration done, things like maybe I didn't say stuff clearly or communicate as well, so that was something for me that I had to take into account, especially when we redid everything for DIW.
So in terms of food, for the fall events, we basically got confirmation very, very late. So that was a issue on our end, communication. Also, for preparation, the food, we got complaints that it was cold, but that was also an issue on our end. We didn't have much experience getting the food ready. So, but we were more prepared. So for the DIW dinner, we had everything ready, everything went smoothly, so we learned upon that.
From personal experience, communication, having a better platform to communicate on and deliver anything that comes up quickly and swiftly, because what we use currently is WhatsApp, and people texting back and forth from there could be a little redundant. So I feel like if we had a better form of communication, we would be better able to achieve and execute our plans.
One of my favorite things, especially now, would probably be, break out the fourth wall. It'd be this video. Alhamdulillah, I had the idea to make this video from the very beginning of the school year. It was either going to be a highlight reel or a documentary. I wasn't 100% sure at the time. Alhamdulillah, I was the one who was recording every event, and from the very beginning, from our first event, the ice cream social, all the way up to the DIW dinner. And I've collected over 200 gigabytes of footage just through those events, and that, alhamdulillah, it'll be shown throughout this video, inshallah.
So I'm really proud of the DIW dinner. The way we implemented some new I guess, techniques you could say, where we incremented people of 15 when they were coming to grab their food. The food was warm, everyone got really, really good portions, the volunteers were on time, the volunteers knew what they were doing. So I'm really proud of just like being able to organize that so that everyone had a really good time and a smooth process of getting food and enjoying the rest of the event.
One thing that I did that I'm really proud of while serving on Shura was I hosted a mental health panel, and my board also helped me with it as well. We were able to bring behavioral specialists and mental health clinicians to talk about the different issues that our community faces with mental health and how to support one another and the resources available. This is a very important topic, and alhamdulillah, our MSA is we're a very great community. We're very close. We have a lot of social and educational events. But something that I was happy we were also able to touch upon and bring into the community was the topic of mental health, because it's oftentimes stigmatized and not discussed in our community.
So I'm most proud of how despite all our obstacles, we executed the dinner. Everything was well put. The feedback was excellent. I believe that the estimated outcome of people to be at the dinner was around 250, but mashallah there was around like 400 or 500, so it was well overbooked. And I just want to say from like a marketing aspect that we did a really good job, and that I was really proud of.
I think I'm proud of the connections that I made. I would hear stories about how MSA used to be, and then when I was here I saw MSA dwindle a little bit, and I think alhamdulillah, like MSA is kind of on its way back up, and I think that's really important to realize that like people, this organization, yeah, it's a social one, but it's also a spiritual one. It's about spiritual engagement. It's about you bring them to one event, and like they continue to grow in this organization, and they feel good about themselves, and they feel like they want to come back and do more, and like just feel better about themselves. And I think we had elections yesterday, and the elections that we did have, people that I saw from their freshman year that I befriended, they were running and they wanted this more than anything. And I think that I'm the most proud that I played a small role in their like personal and spiritual development.
I think the biggest thing for me was not just a single event itself, but like the whole year. There was so much like uncertainty in terms of how we started the year. There was a registration issue. There was presidential issues. There were so many administration issues, and then we had people drop out, whatnot. But somehow, I'm sitting here in April, and I'm gonna tell you that it was the best year of my life. There was a lot of like good relationships that were built, but not even that. Like I think it's hard to look at another board like us and not think of family, Yeah.
To me, the MSA is one of a great means for Muslims at UIC and on campus to be able to practice their faith and to come together and bring their hearts together, and to be able to, be comfortable on campus, and to be able to do the things that, they feel are important, and especially with regards to practicing their faith and, with, friendship and brotherhood and sisterhood, like I said earlier.
To me, MSA is a safe space and a community that's really welcoming to the Muslim students on campus. In my high school, I never had an MSA or a lot of Muslim kids to connect with. So coming to MSA here at UIC, I've made a lot of new friends, and I've had a lot of people like come up to me and say Assalamu alaikum to me and just welcome me.
The MSA at UIC, at least, I find it to be a good open space for all Muslims in UIC. People that are coming in for the first time, people that don't really know many people. The board this year was very, very active, and they were active in getting more people into it, and it's very welcoming, and it's a very good environment for Muslims.
For me, growing up, my sister and my brother-in-law, they were both co-presidents of their MSA at the St. Louis University. So for me, understanding what the MSA was on a smaller scale compared to UIC was that we had a hijab day where girls got the opportunity to experience what wearing a hijab was like. Men had a wear a kufi day where they got the opportunity to experience what it felt like for many Muslims. So coming to UIC, I found that we had a smaller group at St. Louis University, but on a much larger scale with a similar amount of people running the board. We were able to complete so many more tasks than a smaller MSA, and it was really interesting seeing that all these people were able to work together and knock out so many amazing events.
To me, it means unity because, without the MSA, we wouldn't have Friday prayers, which you see like 200 people come. We wouldn't have dinners where everyone meets up, sits down together, eats good food. We wouldn't have events like MSA Assassins where you just like throw some water on your brother, So.
MSA is kind of like a like a hiatus. It allows me to see familiar faces, and it allows me whenever I'm feeling down or stressed. There's always a sister in the chat or in Montgomery to always like lift you up. So it really gives me a sense of like family here at the campus since there's so many people and it can feel intimidating as a first year. It's taught me the power of community. It's also taught me how to gain a sense of belonging with people who you may not normally interact with. Maybe they're different majors or are different years than you, but through our faith, we're actually very alike and we have similar interests.
I think through MSA I became a lot more social, more open to talk to people and meeting new people. I definitely enjoyed like a lot of the events that they had in terms of talks with some of the speakers that came in. So it was very educational and it also made me very social and very open to meeting new people.
Say for me, I would say has been a personal growth as well as a team growth. By that I mean is that when I look at MSA from a third person perspective, I see it as a opportunity, a platform, and a brotherhood. I emphasize brotherhood because I've met so many genuine people through MSA that I know I will have them not only as long-lasting friends, but people I can rely on through work and any form of needs in the future as well. So MSA has been that platform for me personally, and as a team, it's been really beautiful. So I would definitely tell other people to join, not only for an organizational aspect, but also through community and brotherhood. It's a good way to get out there and just be you.
So since I'm a sophomore, I was not very introduced to MSA my freshman year. The only thing that happened to me, like as soon as I entered campus, someone came up to me and was just like, "Oh, are you Muslim?" And I was like, "Yeah," and then they added me to the brothers group chat. But as further than that, I didn't really have much experience. And then once I actually got onto board, I met all these amazing people that I probably will remember for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna make sure to continue to improve MSA. Not just like as an organizational standpoint, but as a brotherhood and sisterhood aspect too. Because when I came into MSA, the one motto that I had in my head was that as long as I'm able to help one person, everything else is worth it.
Building that community is one of the main goals of the MSA, and it definitely accomplishes that. And that there's a lot of people that the dinner is their first interaction with the MSA, and after going there, they're like, oh, so this is I've heard about MSA, I haven't really been involved, but then that's when they kind of actually have an opportunity to meet the people who are part of it, and then that kind of draws them in, and then they become more involved from that.
This DIW was really unique, not just because of the dinner, but because every single day you had something so cool, so big happening, but it all represented different facets and different pillars of our community. And the service event, the first day having showcasing Muslim organizations. So this DIW was it was lit.
Super dope.
The jury's in. It was super dope.
My most recent event that I helped out with was Discover Islam Week, and that was a really exciting experience for me. And my impression was that I learned that our community is very diverse, and I learned more about the needs of our community. And for me, that was really helpful because I think MSA actually reflects, especially the MSA at UIC really reflects the Muslim community, in America as a whole. Because we do have, Chicago is such a diverse city, and we a lot of the problems we have here do reflect our global problems as well.
So it's really cool just figuring out our needs and then also figuring out solutions or like speakers or just ways to like inspire our community, because I think that's how you'd inspire like the rest of the Muslim community too.
I would really say that like the MSA is a second family, right? Because it has been such a like integral part of my transition into Islam, and just having all the support and all the resources provided has really been equivalent to, alhamdulillah, like my own family, and how supported and cared for and a part of I feel with them. And so that's why I'd say the MSA here at UIC has been a second family for me.
The MSA for me is my like the family I sort of wish I had. Sort of like growing up, we didn't have much of a Muslim community where I was, through no fault of anyone. That's just how circumstances ended up. But it was something that I felt that I lacked. And coming to UIC and seeing this, meeting this MSA has given me that connection that I felt like I've been missing. And I'll forever be grateful for that. Even if I never interact with anyone from MSA tomorrow, I'll be grateful for the memories that I've made for the rest of my life.
Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with the opportunity to serve on the board. Throughout my 1 year here, I've had many different, I've met the closest of my friends here. I've gotten a lot closer to people who I are already close with. And alhamdulillah, I was able to work with equipment I've not worked with, like the lighting. I was able to bring in extra cameras like that one and that one. And I was able to do like a lot of things, alhamdulillah. So giving my work a purpose was one of the best blessings I can ask for.
The one thing that I really like about MSA is that I really like enjoyed this year a lot. Not only because like I was a part of the team that built like this year or like organized this year was, but also because like this year I felt like so much of community from so many different places. Like not only did I meet completely new people, but I think we invited a lot more different people, and we got to finally like go into different sectors and, you know, like discover a little bit more about each person and, you know, invite like a huge new crowd to MSA. And that's something that we're really like gonna strive for next year, just continuing that building of community and stuff like that. So yeah.
Being a part of MSA at UIC has been an amazing experience. I've made some really amazing friends, and I've learned so much from this community, and I don't think I'd be who I am without MSA at UIC.
I've been with the MSA since I was a freshman. I watched it grow, and alhamdulillah, to be a part of this, to be on the board, and to just know how much hard work goes into everything. It's a lot of hard work, but it's definitely worth it when you see the end results. And alhamdulillah, I'm so proud to be a part of such a good community.
I will say it's probably one of the best decisions I made here at UIC, running for this board, to be a part of this organization, to meet these 8 wonderful people. You know, shout out to Salma, Madiha, Fida, Amina, Sufyan, Hanan, Usman, and Taj. And it's been such a nice and pleasant time to spend time with them, these talented and genuine people.
Just some reflection for this year. It's crazy because I remember sitting here last year in April, and Farouk told me that I was president, and I was just, no, man, you can't be. You're serious? No, you can't. Laura, I can't be president. I can't be president. And it's been a year. It's crazy. And it's probably been one of the craziest experiences, the most stressful experiences, but it's probably one of the most fulfilling experiences in college I've ever had. It's an experience where it sits with you for the rest of your life. I know that like MSA is not just a body of Muslims or non-Muslims. It's a body of people who want to be on this campus together. And it's crazy that like the love on this campus, not just Muslim or non-Muslim, but MSA has really shown at UIC what Muslims are about, you know, from the smallest events all the way to the biggest events. And I think the biggest thing for me is that whether it was a really big event or whether it was a really small event, MSA made you feel like family regardless of your name, regardless of your race. And it's really hard to see that from others. And I think that's one of the craziest things that I think no other org on campus can do, that where you feel like family even though you don't know anybody. And that's one of the most fulfilling experiences, to be on the other side, to be on a board member and be able to facilitate that. Like, yo, hey, assalamu alaikum, my name's Usman, what's your name? That's all it was. That's all it started with, and that's all it's gonna end with, service.
Time and time waits for no man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in your pocket till I get back. I'm going downtown to see a man, and I ain't got time to shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in your pocket till I get back.
What do you think went wrong? What do you think is something that you can improve?
Nothing.
Let the records show that Sufyan's jawline is the nicest jawline in MSA. Asjad is not here, so he does not count. Sufyan's jawline takes all of MSA.
I love that music. I'm the only Palestinian on the board. Don't put that in there.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I knew it, man. I freaking knew it. I knew it was gonna happen.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
Let me. Yeah, let's exit. What's this about? Hold on. What's this about?
Okay. I got it.
Arrangement and decorations. Shout out Citra.
How has MSA changed you as a person?
He doesn't even go here.
Wait, do you even go here?
That was my last one. On JW, it was like, why are you crying? I'm not even crying. But, it was
Speak.
Agent Michael Scar.
Speak.
Agent Michael Scar.
Speak.
Agent Michael Scar.